I'm back. I've completely forgotten how to talk to a camera in the almost 3 months that I've been away. So if this feels like an awkward first date, honestly, you're kind of cute. That's why I'm so awkward. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Avery, and I'm back. It has been almost 3 months since I uploaded a video. Has it been? Let's see. The last video I uploaded was 80 days ago. Not quite 3 months, but a bit of time. That's a lot. 80 days is a lot of time. I cannot believe I haven't stood in front of this camera for 80 days. That's actually insane to me. But I'm back. I took a little hiatus, obviously. There's not much of an explanation as to why. I just was focusing on reading for pleasure instead of just reading to read for my channel. Even though I think reading for my channel gives me a better incentive to read because I have not read that much in the last few months. This is not in my hair. I come back and I look disheveled. So even though I haven't been reading as much as I read last year, I was really delusional in setting my goal for this year. I said I wanted to read 70 books this year because last year my goal was 60 books. This year I've probably read 12 books. I just haven't been reading like I did last year. I think last year I just had a lot of downtime because I was in college, and then over the summer I was unemployed, so I just had a lot of time to be reading and making content, and so it's kind of caught up to me, and now I'm just reading to read for pleasure. I'm not trying to hit any goal. I decided to delete my goal on Goodreads because I was like, this is just going to stress me out. So I've just decided to read when I want to read and not try and push myself to get a certain amount of books because it really doesn't matter. So in the past few months that I've ghosted you, I have been reading, and I've actually been reading some popular books, which are the ones that I want to talk about in this video. There are a few other ones that I've read that haven't been like super popular, but I'm just going to mainly talk about like, I read a lot of books that were like new releases that were kind of a big deal, but also just other books that are popular that I just hadn't jumped on the bandwagon yet. And so I'm just going to talk about 5 books that I read recently that are very popular on Book Talk, on BookTube, just amongst readers. Amongst or among? Among readers. Amongst us. What is it? I do not know the difference between those two words. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be talking about these books because it's interesting reading a book and then not speaking to anybody about it because I don't have tons of people that I can talk to these books about, with these books about. This is why I haven't been uploading. I can't speak. I have my mom who, if y'all know, if y'all have been watching the channel, you know that we read a lot of the same books and love to talk to her about them. So she's kind of the only person I've talked to about a few of these, but other than that, it's just kind of been me digesting these books. And for some of them, it's been a while, so now I'm ready to spit it back up. That's disgusting. The first book that I read recently, well, not recently, it was like 2 months ago, was Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. So this is the third and final book in the Last Hours series. First of all, it's so beautiful. Let's just talk about that. Overall, I was kind of disappointed in this book. Usually I rate Cassandra Clare books like 5 stars. Usually I feel like they're all really, really amazing, but this one just didn't really do it for me. I think that's kind of the general consensus amongst Cassandra Clare fans, is that this book was a little like, what? I don't know. First of all, it didn't feel fresh. It kind of felt like she was just rewriting the Infernal Devices. Obviously the whole series was kind of like that with the love triangle, but I just feel like the love triangle was unnecessary. I'm gonna add some spoilers in here, so beware. Her and Matthew happening was so random, very weird, when we all know that like her and James are endgame. I feel like at least in the Infernal Devices, you were like, okay, I love both of these guys, who's she gonna end up with? But for this one, like, you know she's gonna end up with James. So it just felt kind of annoying that this whole Matthew situation was going on, and then it was so annoying that James just like wouldn't tell Cordelia what happened with Grace because he like didn't want her to pity him, which is like really one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. How about you tell her what was going on so that she knows that you actually loved her and you were under a literal spell? Sure, people will pity you a little bit, but like at least they'll know the truth. But he just like didn't want to tell her. That was weird. And it was just like the ending was just a classic like, okay, bad guy big battle, someone dies. Honestly, I did not feel bad that Christopher died. I didn't cry. Usually when someone dies in one of these books, there are tears, and I didn't cry. I just kind of didn't really care. I don't know if I'm the only one who felt that way. There were a lot of perspectives in this book from a lot of characters that I was like, why are we bouncing around between every single one of the characters? Like, we don't need a POV from all of these people. It was James, Cordelia, Matthew, Alistair, Thomas, Christopher, Grace, Ariadne, Anna, Lucy, Jesse. That's 10 people. And there might have even been another one in there. But 10 different perspectives. I was just like, oh, there's so much going on. So I did like it. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know why I'm completely hating on it. Maybe I'll take my thing down to 3 stars. Like, now that I think about it, it really was not her best work. And I stand by that. Glad that I read it, and my mom sent it to me, so thank you, Mom, for sending it to me. It's beautiful. I feel like maybe my time with Cassandra Clare is coming to a close. I know she has one more series, The Wicked Powers, and I think she's gonna stop the Shadowhunters after that series, which is maybe a good idea, if I'm being honest. I'll probably still read that series, but this just wasn't amazing. I'll say it. Okay, the next book I read is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book, extremely popular the past few months on BookTube, on BookTok, on all the book things. And so I was excited to read it. I got it on Libby and I read it on my Kindle. Also, I just love the cover because I love Hokusai. He's like one of my favorite artists. I actually have a little Hokusai bookmark. It's like a calendar bookmark, so every month you get a different bookmark of like a painting of his. So I'm a fan. So if you don't know, this book follows these 2 kids in college who are video game designers, and they make this video game together, and it's this girl named Sadie and this guy, what's his name? Sam. So it's basically just about them making the first video game together. They become famous and they start a company together and they start this video game empire. And so it's about their relationship, which is strictly platonic the whole book. And then also Max, who is their third partner and best friend. And it's kind of Sadie's relationship with both of these guys. I feel like there's not tons of plot to this book. Like, stuff happens, but I think the book is mainly like relationship based and mainly like character driven, and I really liked it. Like, I don't know what it was about it that I liked so much. I liked her writing style. I liked the way she described the video games. I like video games. I'm definitely not a gamer by any means, but it was really cool like reading about video games and video game design, which doesn't sound like, if that doesn't sound like it'd be interesting to you, you might be surprised because it was still really good. It's basically just about like their relationships and like what power and fame does to their relationship. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars actually. So once again, I'm not doing a great job of like saying that I liked the book. I did like it. I thought it was really good, but I can't really like put my finger on why I thought it was so good. And it's been long enough that I'm having a hard time remembering. It was mainly like, I was just interested the whole time. Like, I felt myself wanting to know what was going to happen next, what was going to happen with the characters, with their company, with their games, that kind of thing. It was good. Okay, next up we have The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. So if you are a regular on this channel, you know that I love the Folk of the Air trilogy by Holly Black, which is the Cruel Prince trilogy, and I really, really love that series. I read that series so quickly, and I just really loved Jude, loved Carden, like loved all those characters. And this is like a spin-off series following Jude's brother Oak and this girl named Surin, who is also in the first trilogy. I kind of forgot who she was. There's definitely like things from the first trilogy that I had forgotten, so I was kind of confused. New York. But apparently this girl, the main girl Surin, was in the first trilogy. I truly don't remember it very well. It follows her and him now that they're like, I don't know, 17, 18. And they go on this quest to, I don't know, they're trying to stop a bad guy. I gave it 3 stars. It was just very average. Like, it was nothing compared to the first ones. I don't know if it was because the first trilogy was like new and fresh, and so I was just like super intrigued in this world, whereas this one just wasn't as riveting. I think that seems to be also what everyone else thinks. I would say read it. Like, it's worth it if you're a fan of the first 3 books. Nothing crazy happened. Like, it was kind of boring. Oh, something that I talked to my mom about, which I totally forgot, is that the book ended like the exact same way as The Cruel Prince. And I was like, did she not have like a new idea that she could come up with? It literally felt like she just recycled the ending of the first book, and the same exact thing happened in this book with the main 2 characters. And I'm like, what? Like, we've already done this before. Can we not have something new? Something fresh? It was My mom also got me this, so thank you. I love you. I'm sorry I'm hating on the books that you got me. I really do appreciate it. You're my book benefactor. My book-a-factor. Next up, we've got one that I have a little more nice things to say about, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read this book so that I could watch the TV show when it came out. I have just really been wanting to read it anyway, and I was like, okay, I actually need to do this so that I can watch the TV show and not feel like a poser. And I really, really liked it. I gave this book 5 stars. I just really, really loved the way that it was written. I loved the interview format, so if you're not aware, this book is written in the form of an interview. I love that format because I can just fly through it so quickly. Like, it's not like you have chapters and chapters. It's like of dense paragraphs. It's like some of that is still in there, but it's just so easy to read, so easy to get through. And I'm such a dialogue girl. Like, I love dialogue. I can't handle paragraphs and paragraphs of description, and this whole book is basically dialogue because it's people talking. And even though they are describing things that happen, it just felt really nice and easy to read. I thought it was super cool reading about the rise and fall of this fictional band and about the interesting dynamics between Daisy and Sam Claflin. I was literally about to say that. What is his name? That's my toxic trait. That's my toxic book trait, is I will read a book and literally not remember the name of the characters the next day. Billy. And then also Camila. I thought that Camila was a great character. A very forgiving character, which I looked up to, but also was like, she had such an interesting outlook on her relationship with Billy. Hard for me to grasp because of all the stuff he'd done. I would have been like, bye. This was fun, but bye. But she really stuck by him, so good for her, I guess. But I really liked it. I thought it was good. I definitely understand like why it's so hyped up. I think the book was a lot better than the TV show. I know a lot of people loved the TV show, and a lot of people who liked the book also loved the TV show and thought it was such a great adaptation, and I do think it was a good adaptation, but I wasn't, I didn't love it. I thought Daisy was really good. I didn't love Billy. I didn't love Sam Claflin as Billy. I just didn't think they didn't show many, like, redeemable qualities. I feel like him and Daisy's relationship was a little, like, I don't know if their chemistry was, like, off for me, because in the book it's just described as being so electric, and in the TV show I just maybe didn't feel that between the actors, but I still thought, like, the TV show did a really good job of adapting the book, and it was, like, a very faithful adaptation, like, a very good adaptation of the book, but the book was better, as always. Okay, and the last book I'm going to talk about is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I'm not sure why I just acted like I didn't know who that was by. So if you have been on this channel for a minute, you'll know that I loved It Ends With Us. I did a whole reading vlog for it. It made me sob at the end. I thought it was really good, and so I was really excited for this sequel, and I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I feel like it was a nice love story between Lily and Atlas. I think a lot of people were annoyed that there was still a lot of like drama going on with Ryle and Lily, but I feel like that was a realistic way to continue the story. Ryle wasn't just gonna like stop causing problems because, you know, Lily's moving on with Atlas. Like, Ryle's gonna be in Lily's life for the rest of her life because of their child. So I kind of don't understand why people were like mad that Ryle was still like in the book and still causing problems. I'm like, because that's probably how it would be. He would still be around and still be being the worst. Really, really loved Atlas and Lily's romance. I liked how it was just really pure and like uncomplicated. There wasn't any like miscommunication. There wasn't any miscommunication is always like the thing, I feel like, in romance books, is that like, oh, they're in love, but then something happens and they're mad at each other and whatever, and like that doesn't happen in this book. So I just appreciated that it was like a nice love story. I feel like that doesn't happen very often, and it's very refreshing to me when you read a love story that, like, sure, the main characters maybe like have a few issues, nothing insane, nothing like enemies to lovers, fake dating, things that are so unrealistic. It's just like a nice story of them falling in love and being together. And so I liked it. My one qualm is that the fact that it's called It Starts With Us is so dumb to me when the previous book is It Ends With Us, and the opposite of an ending is a beginning. So the book should be called It Begins With Us. Start and stop are opposites, and begin and end are opposites, right? And so I like truly despise the fact that it ends with us and then it starts with us. Like, to me, in my brain, that doesn't work. If you know It Ends With Us, you know that when you figure out why the book is titled that, it's like such a pivotal part and it like really hits you. And the same thing happened in the second book with the title being It Starts With Us. There's like a whole line that explains why it's called that, and it's like, oh, so emotional and really good. So I loved that part of it, but I just wish it had been It Begins With Us, because that would have been fine also. But that's just me nitpicking because I'm a hater at heart. Those are 5 books that I read recently that are pretty popular right now and my opinions on them. I think there's a few hot takes in there, I'll be honest. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts on them are. Would love to hear about it. Always love to discuss in the comments. Thanks for clicking on this video and not completely giving up on me and still supporting me even though I've been gone for a few months. I truly just needed a break, but I'm excited to be back and to be making content. I don't know exactly what kind of content I'm going to be making coming up. I really don't. I think I'm just going to make what I want to make, like what I'm excited about making. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. And then comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books. And if you haven't, what book have you read recently and what did you think of it? Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Peace. That's not a peace sign. Peace.